attempt to adjust your YouTube video. We control the stream.
It's fine. You're trying
And welcome back to Geek Out SA. It's Friday and we're having fun.
First of all, you flub. Second of all, you did not teach our crash test producer how to do this. And that's why he's the crash test producer, because he got the crash test like 2 seconds before we went live. And so now Vince is like, press that button and press that button and do that button. And so, but what do we have? Buck Wild over here?
Buck Wild, yeah.
So thanks for being our producer for today. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Oh, and then you have a button on there too, I think, for producer.
You do. You have a producer button.
That's cool. They can
It's
just
on
hear
OBS,
me.
so. I don't know. So if you looked at our Instagram, you can see that Vince did this new weird alien robot arm thing for his 2 monitor
did you
setups
post that
for
on
the
Instagram?
producer. Yeah. Because I put a picture of I can see your teeny head in between the little.
I can see your eye.
It's really
I
weird.
can see your nose. Okay.
We used to be able to look across the room at each other and still look at the cameras and have a conversation. And so I'm getting used to this new setup with 967 cameras and
So we may
arms.
just need to shift my desk over.
No, then you can't, because then you're in the way of the walkway. And then everybody's going to see into our dining room that's filthy half the time.
No, I think I just need to shift over a foot. And I can see you. Hi.
Or you move this to that side.
Maybe.
Maybe. No, we can't, because there's not any cords or anything. They're all the
All the
ports and
power's
stuff
on
are-
this.
Yeah,
Oh,
the power's
okay.
over there. Yeah, so I don't know. We're trying new stuff, so we hope you like the new stuff and see how it goes.
We have a bunch. We have we still have we're figuring out the camera angles. So
Yeah, I don't know. I like the new camera for me because people can see my collectible stuff too. Because I think they think that all we collect is Star Wars. Which that's predominantly what Vince collects. Not that I'm not a fan of Star Wars, because I'm totally a fan of Star Wars, but I collect all the other things too. So I have He-Man and I have Transformers because I'm secretly in love with Optimus Prime, and I have Thundercats and I have Dark Crystal and I have Harry Potter and I have Hello Kitty and I have all the gargoyles and all the things, and you can see all the things. So yeah, I like the new camera angle so you can see my stuff.
Yeah.
Because I like my stuff. I like stuff.
So we're talking today about Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, because we just got to see it recently.
We saw it on Wednesday after work, so we took my mom to go see it, and she fell asleep again.
Again.
She is 73.
time.
She is 73. So let's cut her a little slack.
I'm gonna go with you.
I'm
I'm not gonna fall
stop,
asleep.
I'm not gonna
I
fall
promise.
asleep this
I promise
time.
I'm
Not
gonna
gonna
fall asleep.
And then there's cute parts with the ants. Obviously, it's Ant-Man, right? So going into the Ant-Man movie, you have to have cute things going on with the ants. And we've seen the ants in the other movies, so there's some cute stuff that goes on with the ants. So I'm poking her when the ant parts are coming on, because that's the part she wants to see.
But before we get to that, I had anxiety to go see this movie
¿Por qué?
because of Thor: Love and Thunder.
Oh, for
It was
real though.
So bad. It
was really bad. It was really bad. Thor: Love and Thunder was really bad, and that's a lot for you to say that something was really bad, because you're usually no, I liked it.
I liked
It
everything.
was good. I liked it.
Except that
And Fantastic Four.
The Fantastic Four.
And Gem and the Holograms.
And no, I didn't mind Gem and the Holograms as a movie in and of itself, but it
As a
didn't-
teeny bopper movie, not as a Gem movie.
Yeah, not as a Gem movie.
It was more like a Glee movie.
It was more like a Glee movie.
Yeah.
But and the new RoboCop.
Oh yeah, you hated that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Thor: Love and Thunder was really awful. It was pretty awful. Yeah. So I didn't have a lot. I'm with you. I didn't have anxiety, but I didn't have a lot of high hopes for Ant-Man and Wasp.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, it can't be worse than Thor: Love and Thunder,
I
right?
I was wondering if it was going to be on par with Love and Thunder.
There are definitely some missteps in it, and I think.
Well, what are some of the missteps for you?
I think it feels like they're trying a little too hard. Like the whole thing where he's like, you know, narrating his own life and doing the whole thing walking down the street. It was a little like much for me. I missed his like sidekick friend who like told us the whole story of everything that happened like previously really fast. You know which guy I'm talking about? That guy. Like that part was funny, but to just see Paul Rudd like walking around and being like, life is kind of strange. It's real fun here in happy sunny Funville. You know, it was just like, it was a little much for me. I was like, oh, okay. Is this where we're going with this? Great. Wonderful. And then the whole like, I'm gonna be a really good dad and I'm gonna be mad at you because you're in jail. Do you know yourself? Have you met yourself? Because we know that your character from previously like was kind of in prison and had problems. And you're not like Mr. like everyman that they're trying to make you seem out to be. You know, you're kind of a turd. Like, let's just be honest, you know. Not real bright, you know, not really good at being a thief or anything really.
Oh, but he's an Avenger.
Oh, but he's an Avenger, yeah.
Kinda.
Ish.
I mean, he is in the comics.
No, he is. But it just...
But I don't read Ant-Man comics.
No, I'm not interested. But it got off to kind of, for me, a rocky start. And I thought, oh, here we go. This is going to be horrible. And I think, too, if you've seen a Marvel movie, if you've seen 5 or 10 Marvel movies and some of the shows and stuff, which I still enjoy for entertainment purposes, but you kind of know what the whole storyline is as soon as you walk into the movie.
We pretty much figure out what's going to happen.
Yeah. It's like as soon as you see that, and that, you're like, oh, well, that all's going to happen. Thanks for letting me know. You know, I think sometimes they lead you by the nose too much in the Marvel movies, and it's like, look at this big epic scene because it's going to mean something real soon. You know? It's like,
They
okay,
do
thanks.
what William Shakespeare did.
I don't know. I thought there was more intrigue in Shakespeare's plays.
But he tells you like 3 times it wasn't made for the elite.
No.
He made plays for the people.
Yeah. And most people read on a 5th grade level, so come on,
Yeah.
let's just be honest. Like, it's not like we're, you know, putting it out there and everybody's going to have to figure out this big mystery or something in Marvel. So, it wasn't terrible. Let me go there and just say, like, it wasn't terrible. And I thought that the comedy-action balance was better in this one than it was in Thor: Love and Thunder. Right?
Yes.
They kind of hit the notes in the comedy, kind of in some of just the right spots. There was a couple of cringy spots where you were like, ooh, no. But then as you got in the midst of the movie and the flow of it, the comedy and the action really started to balance out really well.
Yeah.
So I thought, you know, it was kind of that uphill battle to get there, but once they got there, they were pretty level and it was pretty good. I really enjoyed seeing Michelle Pfeiffer.
I thought...
Oh, yeah. Bob's like, oh, baby. Oh, baby.
For the age
Oh,
that
baby.
she is, she's beautiful.
She's gorgeous.
She's beautiful.
She is gorgeous.
Beautiful.
She's gorgeous, and in this, she's badass.
Yeah.
Like, because she's been there for years and years and years and years, and she's had to deal with all of it.
It was like 30 years that she's in there.
Yeah, it's 30 years that she was down in there, so she's had to deal with all of it, and she's had to put up with what's going on down there, and she knows what's going on down there. And then, of course, in true... Oh, sorry. That yawn just came out of nowhere.
It's not Friday, Colleen.
I know, but I demoed a kitchen today. It's not like I sit around all day waiting for the show. I'm like, I'm going to sit here and be cute until the show happens. Anyway, so... So yeah, she's been down there fighting, and she's kind of like a badass, but we get back to Superhero 101, Comic Book 101. These people never tell the people around them the truth, and it always gets them in trouble.
And they
Come
never
on.
tell them the information that they need.
Right, in order to be prepared, just in
Yeah.
case the thing's gonna happen, because the thing's gonna happen. So why not tell them about it, you know? So of course I found that to be problematic, but not because it's problematic, but just that I hate that's a very big trope of all of these comic book movies and comic books and everything. It's like, if you just shared the information 2 comic books ago, this storyline wouldn't happen, and then of course we wouldn't have a movie, so it's fine. But
So, I like that we get a new baddie, a new big baddie.
Mhm.
And we thought that Thanos was bad because he was just eliminating an entire universe, half a universe. Kang wants to do it to all universes.
Well, yeah, not all of them, but he's gonna deem some of them that he'll keep, but he's another megalomaniac, right? So we have to have the megalomaniac that thinks he knows what's best for all the universes, and I get to decide who lives and who dies, and I'm gonna conquer them all, you know. Same old, same old. So as far as, you know, being a bad guy, I don't know that he has a whole lot of dimension. We see in the end scene credits that there's a whole bunch of him, and he talks about it throughout the movie, so it's not a surprise to you that there's a whole bunch of him for different timelines and stuff like that. So, and they tried to get us to kind of connect with him because they give us this sense that he did have some feelings for Michelle Pfeiffer, and he did care about her, and he was kind of planning on leaving her timeline alone and everything. So I felt like they kind of tried to get us to connect to him, but I felt of all the characters, he was the hardest to connect to and to care whether, you know, they thwarted him or not. So
Yeah, the goo explain got a video. It's turd and shrooms need some orange slices. I don't get that reference.
I don't know, because I'm not an auditory person, so when you read it, it just sounded like a bunch of jumble words together. Yeah. Turd and shrooms and goo, and I'm guessing because of the stuff that they have to drink from the guy that comes from the guy that makes it so that they can all understand one another.
The guy that doesn't have holes.
The guy has no holes, and he's very obsessed with holes, which is really funny. He's funny, like his character is really funny, yeah. and you feel bad when he gets a hole, but that's a whole nother aside.
But then you kind of feel happy for him because he's happy that he has.
Well, yeah, then you feel happy. At first, you're like very traumatized, but then you're like, oh my god, he's loving these holes. Yeah, so you know that was kind of goofy for me, being that I used to work in science and that I teach, that I have taught science. I'm yelling again.
It's not Friday.
I'm sorry.
I'm never gonna be tired on Saturdays
until I have to demo a kitchen. So I love the fact that they tried to take some science from what's in the microscopic world, and I could tell that they used things that were like amoeba and paramecium and things that we would know from the microscopic world, and kind of shrunk them down to a quantum level. I don't think quantum people understand what quantum really is, that it's subatomic, that it's like below protons and neutrons and electrons. And so, you know, obviously none of it probably looks like that, but I like that they tried to kind of bring in some things that people might remember from middle school science, like, oh, like I remember seeing in the water the little amoeba and the paramecium and stuff, and the things that they float on, and like the tardigrades. I was surprised they didn't have more tardigrades because people love those. Those are the little microscopic bear-looking things that people like. So, and then I was kind of surprised that we had a few like humanoid people thrown in there. And then I guess Bill Murray is the new Jeff Goldblum. So if we're gonna have Jeff Goldblum in Thor: Love and Thunder, then we gotta have Bill Murray in the Ant-Man. So, you know, it's like, let's just pick some random 80s actor that was really famous and throw him in there, so all the 80s kids will be like, yeah, 80s rules, you know? Because that's pretty much what it is. So, you know, some of that stuff kind of threw me off, and I was like, really, Bill Murray? No, everybody knows you're a jerk. Nobody likes you. What happened to Zombieland? You got killed. It's nice. We leave it there. You were a good Ghostbuster.
I went
You're a
to
good
see
Ghostbuster.
Sam Beckett, like, flying through or something.
Just
In the quantum.
in the quantum realm, just going for it.
Leaping through. He's jumping to another point because he's still in there.
I really and I really liked that they gave us like some of the CGI type stuff. I really wish they would have kept the humanoid characters out of it. Excuse me, I keep yawning. But that's just me. That was me personally, just because my imagination of a quantum realm that we wouldn't have humanoids. There's no point in having humanoids. Obviously, to have Michelle Pfeiffer down in there and to have Kang down in there because they came from these other places, yes, I get it. But to have some that have evolved over time to be humanoid in the quantum realm, I didn't like that. But that's just a nitpicky little stupid thing. So I think most people are not going to care and not going to notice. You know, telepathy guy was kind of cool when he's telling Ant-Man, "Don't think that." I'm trying not to stop thinking that. I'm trying not to. Don't think that. I need you not to think that. So yeah, there was some good humor in it, like that kind of stuff. Some of those, you know.
I think there was a lot, and it was in great places, and it wasn't like Scott was stupid the entire movie.
Right, because we know that Scott is stupid, but that he has his moments of, I guess, brilliance, shall you say, or the stupid just happens to lead him on the right path because...
Well, he's an electrical engineer, isn't he?
He is, but he comes across as being real stupid. I don't know why they wanted that to be the case, but that was the case. And they went to... And that was the problem with Thor, is they went too far. They went too far with Thor and made him too stupid. And Thor is not stupid. I mean, yeah, it was funny when he was kind of goofy and kind of like blonde in the Ragnarok.
Yeah.
But they went too far in Love and Thunder. So I was glad that they didn't go too far with Ant-Man because they could have. And really compared to like everybody else in the room, I think that's what they're trying to show us is compared to everybody else in the room who have these big brains, and you're talking about Hank Pym and his daughter and everything, Scott is supposed to be not on their level, right? So that's kind of what they were trying to show us. And I didn't think they went too far on that.
He's just the Ant-Man.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the crash test dummy of Marvel, right? Kind of.
But I mean, originally Hank Pym is Ant-Man.
Yes.
He is the one that actually gave sentience to Ultron.
Oh, really? I don't know. I lose track of all this stuff. There's so many characters.
Some kind of mistake. He did something in the comic book. He didn't not in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but in the comic book, he's the one that had to do with Ultron being created.
I think one of the nice things about Marvel a lot of the time is Marvel is a lot of the time family forward, right? And so that was one of the nice things about this one is it's very family forward. You get to see him and his daughter and how they love each other and care about each other and then how the whole extended family unit kind of comes together. So it has a good message speaking to like, you know, standing together and being stronger together and loving each other no matter your pitfalls and things of that nature. So I like
yada,
that.
Yada yada. The same kind of story that they tell all the time.
Yeah, yada yada yada, family and stuff. What I was a little confused by though was it was Ant-Man and Wasp, and she was kind of there in the background.
Wasp was in the background. She didn't do much. It wasn't till the end that she had a little more.
A little more, but it wasn't a lot.
It wasn't enough for her.
It wasn't enough for it to seem like
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah, it wasn't enough for it to
Quantumania.
seem like it was a movie about the two of them like finding how. I guess I was looking more for the two of them finding how their powers work together.
This is what we also weren't very expecting. That was gonna. It's a short movie. It's not a long movie. It doesn't take long to get through it. Now it kind of it's enough, but how much was cut out? Maybe there was more.
Maybe
in
the
there.
parts that were more about her. I don't know. Even if I could see like some of the uncut parts, I still feel like she was more of a background character.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe the Ant-Man, featuring the Wasp or something. But really, she didn't have any more play than Michelle Pfeiffer's character. She didn't have any more play than what's his name? Michael
I think she
Douglas.
had less than Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah, much less. Yeah. And then they really tried to show his daughter Cassie kind of coming into her own and learning her powers. And I don't even know what her character is going to be because she didn't have anything like the Wasp or the Ant-Man. They didn't really give her a code name when she's in her.
I think she is something.
But they didn't. Not to my knowledge, they didn't call her that in the movie. So it's not like they were introducing her.
No.
But I felt like if they were going to introduce her, and that's kind of what they did in this movie, they introduced her to us as another part of this crime-fighting family or whatever the case may be. Then it should have been Ant-Man and Cassie or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
whatever her character is going to be. I don't know what that is.
Well, I mean, it really should have just been Ant-Man.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure why they... I mean, I'm glad that she was in it, but she wasn't really necessary, if that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, maybe she was in it for girl power, and maybe that's why Cassie got to be... I mean, Cassie had to be in it
wasn't
because
it
of
the
the
kind of
storyline.
the same thing with the initial Ant-Man and Wasp movie?
You know what? I was trying to think about that before we started the show, and I was like, I don't even know if I remember the other Ant-Man and Wasp movie.
She was in it. She was a supporting character.
Wasn't it more about, like, her trying to kind of stand up for herself and be like, I am going to be the Wasp, and showing that she was capable? I don't know. I think we need to go back and watch it.
Yeah.
Because it didn't even stand out to me, so I don't even remember it, So, I don't know, it was good. For entertainment purposes, it was good. It was fun, it's family friendly. I don't know. I'm a little worried. I wore the Guardians of the Galaxy shirt tonight, because I'm a little worried. I'm a little worried about that movie being like Thor: Love and Thunder. Just from the preview that we saw. So we see the preview of Guardians of the Galaxy.
I kind of like the trailer that we saw of that one. Which one I really liked was Shazam.
I think Shazam is going to be spectacular. Yeah, I can't wait.
It looks like Shazam's going to be an epic movie. It's going to be a silly movie too, but it looks like it has a lot of epic moments.
All I know is DC needs a win because they are struggling. They're on a struggle
I think they did well with Shazam.
Yeah, but when you're up against the Goliath that is Marvel, you got to do better than just Shazam. So.
Electric Dream says, finally a Friday stream. Cheers. A Friday stream on Saturday.
Yeah. From now on, it's a Saturday stream on Saturday. Yeah, so we stopped doing Fridays so that I would stop yawning. That doesn't seem to be working. No, we just had a really long day today, and so it's been a lot. And I'm exhausted.
It's echoing?
It's echoey?
Yeah, the sound is echoing.
Mm-hmm. You need to pull down the... It sounded okay to me when I listened to the mic checks.
But on OBS, does it sound like that? I mean, on YouTube, what does it sound like?
Well, I don't know. I can't hear it on YouTube because I'm live right now. This is the problem with going live, as you have all of these problems. Does it sound echoey to you, honey? Are we in a bucket? I'm in a bucket.
Might be.
I'm in a bucket full of sadness.
Same.
Let's look at my Ninja Turtle movements and checks the sound. This is Donnie.
That's what I'm doing. Why don't you talk louder?
Because now I don't want to echo. This is his arm off. He's gonna still fight. He's so angry. Oh, I'm sorry. I get distracted with the toys. I play with the toys sometimes. Do I sound like I'm in a bucket?
Kinda.
I'll whisper. Is it better if I whisper? I tend to get a little passionate and I get a little loud. And I talk about things really loud. I'm like, that is so exciting. It's really important to have girls in movies with really good lines and stuff. And then I can hear myself. That's
That freaked the shit out of me here.
Is your mic off, Colleen?
No, master, it is not off. I know how to turn on the button.
And channel 1?
Channel 1. It's B1. Is it supposed to be B1?
Yeah.
I can hear myself. That's disconcerting. If you could just not do that anymore, that'd be great.
I saw the mouse start moving on the screen, and I was like, "What's going on? I'm not pressing anything."
He's like, I gotta go. My mom's calling me.
What is happening
There's
here?
ghosts in the house.
So I was checking on it just because I was doing it remotely.
So are we echoey? What do we need to do?
No, I don't know. It doesn't seem echoey to me. Maybe it's just you, Electric Dreams.
Yeah. Electric Dreams. I don't
Might be a YouTube thing or me. I don't know. Is anybody else having an issue? It didn't sound like that to us. So.
Hello.
So back to the movie. So, I don't know. I really enjoyed the movie because I thought it was going to be
Goofier than it was?
goofier than it was. And I'm so glad that it wasn't.
So I did enjoy it. I know a lot of people complained about the CGI and giving us too much CGI, but
If you're in the quantum realm,
what did you think it was gonna be?
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the CGI, and I guess because I've grown up in a time where I've seen CGI come really far. And I thought Avatar was an amazingly beautiful movie, and that's a lot of CGI. But I think to be in the quantum realm and have all of these fantastical things that you need to have to have CGI. It didn't seem like it wasn't done seamlessly. To me, it seemed seamless. Did you see any big, glaring? I mean, when you have characters that are going to shrink really small and raise really huge, so
Yeah.
how else are you planning on doing that? I don't know. I like the CGI. I think that adds something to the movies that, we used to not get before when we had movies, If creators had CGI long ago, we might have gotten different movies.
and the CGI that we have now is phenomenal.
Unless you're trying to take, off, somebody's mustache. Make him look like Shrek instead. I'm not naming any movies. Superman. But,
They fixed it though.
no, it was bad. No. Okay, thank you, but
They fixed it, but they finally fixed it.
Ish. It
It's
wasn't
better-
as Shrek.
It's
It's
better in
than
the
theatrical.
I was about to say,
release.
yeah.
It's better in the theatrical release, but was there anything about Ant-Man and Wasp that you didn't really like?
I don't know. It was a pretty feel good movie for me. I liked it. There's not really anything that I can pick out that I don't like, that I hated about it.
Mm-hmm.
There's stuff that I didn't particularly like the I'm a Avenger, kinda.
Well, that didn't bother me. I thought they did some really cute stuff. I really liked the part, and again, maybe this is the science nerd in me. I really liked the part where there was all the 9 million different Scotts, because it's all the possibilities of choices you could make and what you could do. So there's all these 9 million Scotts, and then they have to work together, and they work together the way ants would. and they build like a Scott tower so that the real Scott can get up and crawl up to the top, and they, you know, hoist him all the way up. And I mean, it's a real big tower that goes up and 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 up. So I liked that they brought that aspect of ants into it.
Yeah.
That we get to.
That was kind of cool.
Yeah, that we get to still see that, and I was really glad that Hank Pym comes. And I was waiting for it, and I knew that it was going to happen. But I was really glad that they wrote it in, because he comes with the ants, because he's been teaching the ants some new tricks. And so we've seen the ants throughout the movies, you know, and they've been helpful.
Well, the
and
ants have been teaching themselves new tricks.
Right. And so it was nice to see the ants get to kind of come through, and it really ends up kind of being the ants that save the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was glad. That was what I was really hoping for, and I thought from what they had kind of alluded to in the other parts of the movie that that's where we were going with that.
Yeah.
So I was glad that we got to that end result. So, but yeah, I don't know. Overall, it was a good feel-good movie. It was fun. You know, it was cute. Aside from the whole, like, I'm walking down the street like I'm Peter Parker kind of thing, you know, and I'm having like these little asides by myself, like I was like, what is that? What is that? You know. And I know a lot of people were really upset that they feel like a lot of these Marvel movies, and especially the end scenes, are just advertisements for the following, like, Marvel show or whatever. Well, what did you think it was? I mean, isn't that what it's always been from the very beginning? It's like a teaser for the next movie or the next show, so that you'll want to watch it. Like,
it's genius. They're marketing in their movie.
I feel like I'm like, why are you complaining about that? Wasn't that the point of it to begin with? The very first one that we got, that we've come to now expect.
I mean, then they've been doing it.
Alluded to the next movie.
Yeah.
And so now they're just alluding to movies and shows.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Great. You know, I think I think people are frustrated because they feel like in order to understand this microcosm of the Marvel universe, you had to have watched this in order, and then this show over here, and then these movies over here, and then this other show here to understand some of this here. And I didn't feel like this one.
But they're doing that. They're doing both. They're giving everything to everyone.
Yeah.
In their movie, because they're giving. You gotta watch Loki if you're gonna get some of the stuff that's happening in this movie.
Yeah, but I didn't think you really had to understand Loki to understand what was happening in this movie. Definitely the Doctor Strange.
I'm talking about, like, the purists.
Yeah.
That are going through and watching everything.
I think definitely the Doctor Strange movie was like that, but they kind of let us know ahead of time. Like, you know, you kind of need to watch WandaVision, you kind of need to watch the What Ifs. These are the things that you need to understand before you go to this movie, because it's going to bring all of that together.
Electric Sheens said, except in the past, it was showing stuff that to look forward to. I really like Loki. So I
loved
like
Loki.
the reference that they made with Loki.
Yeah, and I know people didn't like WandaVision, but for me, I liked WandaVision, and maybe it's because I'm a woman, and I can imagine these feelings that she has, that she's lost so much, and she's had to tear herself apart over and over and over again through loss, so she just finally can't take it anymore.
But the thing about WandaVision was directly kind of for our demographic. You and I just demographic.
Yeah, probably.
It was aimed at us.
Yeah.
Just because we grew up watching the reruns of all the stuff, like Leave It to Beaver and all these different shows.
All the Brady Bunch and everything.
All the Brady Bunch and stuff like that, and then going through the decades, and we lived that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. You know, it was part of the demographic, but I don't know. I'm gonna keep watching Marvel stuff because it is entertaining. There are pitfalls in it, and
like Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah. And it's a shame because I think I've watched Ragnarok like 6 times now, and I will probably never watch Love and Thunder again, ever.
No, I'll never watch that movie.
I couldn't stand it.
No.
Like, because I liked Ant-Man and Wasp enough this time, and I don't remember the first one, I am going to go back and watch that one.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's something that they have to do from a marketing standpoint as well, is give us enough that we want to go revisit things, we want to see characters, maybe we want to watch series over again, you know, maybe we want to get hyped about stuff. So I don't know. I mean, we all have to remember that it's a business, right? And they're trying to make as much money as they can. And some people are purists, and some people are huge geeks, and some people have read the comics and know the continuity and the story and stuff. But, I mean, if you're really a geek and you've really read comics, you know that comics, like, jump the rails, too, a lot of the time to keep their storylines going.
Yeah.
And you're like, what are they even doing with this storyline, you know? And when they first started doing all the multi-dimensional stuff so they could have all the extra storylines and stuff, people were like, really? Like, there's all these other dimensions where all these other characters are and stuff, so I can just buy more stuff, and, you know, I mean, I think people just like to complain about stuff is what I ultimately think.
Well, I heard that Tom Holland is signed up for another Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing.
He's a little cute. We'll take him.
Hopefully we'll get more of the Spider-Verse stuff.
That was what I had heard, that we were going to get some more of the Spider-Verse stuff. I think that played out really well, and we all really liked that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole demographic that loves Andrew Garfield.
But this is all working in...
Sony is going to be running the Spider-Verse now. So I think Sony's going to outdo... The Sony Marvel universe of their Spider-Verse is going to outdo Phase 5 of Marvel.
Of Marvel's.
And because I just think we're getting disappointed back to back over and over with it, that they're just going to, like, because the Venom movies have been great. Like, they haven't been, like, the most amazing, but they haven't been letdowns to where just, like, I don't want to see what's going to, like, I want to see what's going to happen next with Venom, as opposed to, like, with what they did with, like, the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, where it's kind of like, you weren't left wanting more. It was kind of, they did it and that was it.
Yeah.
And now with I think they're headed in the right direction, and I think their next phase of movies is gonna outdo the Marvel Phase 5.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
What they should have done, well, talking about that is like Morbius. Morbius should have come up with Spider-Man. And before it came out by itself.
Yeah.
So that was a letdown on that. Electro Dream says WandaVision is the only thing I liked from Disney Plus that was good. Until the finale anyway, in my opinion.
I mean, I think we're all gonna have our opinions about how they should go, and they're all gonna have pitfalls, and I think that's why we have fan fiction out there, is because people are like, well, it really felt like it should have gone like this, and so they write the fan fiction the way it is. But I guess we'll just keep watching. I mean, Vincent and I love to go to the movies, so we're just gonna keep going. Like, we're just gonna keep going because we love it and we enjoy it. Like, I'm gonna go see Guardians of the Galaxy. To me, it already looks like it's gonna be a little too goofy, and that they're trying too hard. And I know Guardians of the Galaxy kind of already stands on that foot of goofiness anyway. Like, Star-Lord's pretty goofy and everything, and then I just left my brain. The wrestler guy.
Is Watiti doing that one too?
No, it's still what's his name? The one who just took over DC? Completely blanking out. What's his name? The one that just became CEO of the DC universe. I think he's still. I think he's still the one what's got involved with it, because I think it's gonna be his last movie with Marvel. So until he goes full time with DC, I think so.
I hope so. I don't know.
So the next movie that we're gonna have to watch, that we're having a little aside amongst ourselves about going to watch it, is the new Flash movie.
Well, I'm gonna watch it.
I know you want to watch it.
Have you not seen the trailer for that?
I told you I'm not watching the trailer for
That
You
wait, what? There's one scene that's gonna make you just be like, I have to go see that in movies.
I know, but kid Ezra, like,
You don't have to just. You could ignore that just for that 10 seconds, not even 10 seconds, 5 seconds of like that movie,
It's perfection.
Yes.
I got chills.
Yes.
I got goosebumps.
Yeah.
Like just playing it back right now in my head. Like
See, and that's why I haven't watched the trailer because I'm afraid I'm gonna like it so much I'm
you're
gonna
gonna
want to go
love
see it. And I've been really like Vincent and I are more DC people than we are Marvel people, so I've been really wanting
Yeah,
DC to
Folklore
step it
says
up.
James Gunn.
James Gunn, yeah.
Yeah.
I've been really wanting DC to step it up and do well.
I think they're doing it for the Flash, and that's why they're releasing it. It looks amazing.
amazing.
Well, we'll see. I liked the last Batman. I really didn't think Pattinson was gonna be able to pull it off, but he did. So.
Oh, and then that's another thing. There's gonna be a new The Batman.
New Batman, new Superman, new everybody.
Superman, new Everyman, new all the men.
Yeah.
Well, they're doing a sequel to The Batman. He's doing another. Robert Pattinson is doing another.
Doing another one.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be good. So I think we'll have plenty of movies. Hopefully the summer will be movie packed. I hope that Ant-Man and Wasp is a precursor to show us that Marvel can kind of sort of get back on track and that they're not going to, you know.
I mean, what they're gonna be doing with Secret Wars, and because supposedly they're bringing back Robert Downey Jr. for Iron Man again.
Yeah, I had seen that. So I'll be curious to see. I think it'll be hard.
Because in the comics, I think Kang puts him against Ultron, and they're battling Ultron and Iron Man at the same time, but Ultron is like super teched up.
Oh yeah.
I hope they bring back what's his name, the guy who voiced him, he's from the Blacklist. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but his voice was just so perfect for Ultron.
Paul Bettany?
Oh no, not Paul Bettany.
No,
Spader.
Spader. James Spader.
Spader.
Yes.
Yeah.
His that one scene where he's just giving the speech, you're just like,
Yes.
oh.
You're like, the voice. Yeah.
I always I didn't start liking Spader until I saw
Boston Legal, man. That was
I hated him. Hated him
so
in
good in Boston Legal.
what was it? Pretty in Pink.
Mm-hmm.
Was
But
it
yeah,
Pretty in Pink?
I
Yeah,
don't-
It was Pretty in Pink,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
I don't know how they can get away with doing Iron Man without Robert Downey Jr. Like, I don't know how any of us that have gone this long with him being Iron Man, and he is so Iron Man to all of us. I don't know. There are a few of the characters, like Chris Hemsworth as Thor and Chris Evans as Captain America. Like, I feel like if they move away from those too far, it's going to be really hard for us to see those movies. So.
I think the easiest thing they can do is just bring in Tom Cruise. That's it.
Yeah, just, Tom Cruise and Bill
Tom
Murray
Cruise.
and Jeff Goldblum. Done.
Tom Cruise is Iron Man.
Tom Cruise is Iron Man. Bill Murray is Captain America. And Jeff Goldblum is going to be Thor. Up next on the Marvel Universe.
Now you have me thinking about Jeff Goldblum as Thor.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Great. So I really appreciate this. It was great. Buckwild, thanks for coming and
Thank
producing for us. It
you.
was really awesome. This was a lot of
Appreciate
fun.
it.
I really enjoyed the movie. If you want to see it, definitely go see it. And there's there's a mid-credit scene and then an after credit scene. So stay for both of those because they're important to the
What's
stuff
coming
that's
up
gonna
next?
happen.
Yeah.
So check that out. If you haven't clicked on the subscribe button, please click on the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so next time we go live, you know. But thanks for checking us out. I'm Vince.
I'm Colleen, and that's Buck Wild.
Geek out, SA.